What's up, YouTube? Stunning Comic Geek coming to you with a haul video. Now, before we get into all this comic book goodness, go ahead and smash that like button while the intro plays. So hopefully you have already smashed that like button and the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification, so when videos like this drop ever so randomly, you are one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch it now or later. As long as you watch it, we appreciate you. We also appreciate all of the channel members, whether you're a YouTube channel member, Patreon channel member, or both. We do appreciate you. And if you are interested in becoming a YouTube channel member or Patreon member you can see the links in the description below. Also visit gocollect.com for all of your collecting questions answered. Values ever increasing these days, all that for free, and get even more in-depth analysis with a paid-for membership. So there is a certain company, Valiant, right? Hopefully no one just exited out of this video and gave it a thumbs down or something like that. But anyhow, Valiant actually launched the first glass cover comic book several years ago. Bloodshot Rising Spirit #1. Fallen World is another one that they did. The Life and Death of Toyo Harada, and a Live Wire, I think, is the only four until here recently. So Shadow Man #1, written by Colin Bunn, just relaunched, and first issue is pretty good. You know, first issue, you really can't tell the pace of things, how things are going to go from there, but first issue was good. And I knew that there was a glass cover out there. It's a 1:250 ratio. So for every 250 comics of Shadow Man #1, then a comic shop can get one. That's not very big. And to think about it, how many comic shops are actually ordering 250 copies of a Shadow Man, right? It's just not too rare or too often. So I had actually somebody in the community reach out to me, which I do appreciate. They saw it at their shop for $250, which is ratio. And that's about what I paid for the two that I have, which are the Fallen World and the Bloodshot one. And I was like, let me hold off on it. So I ended up going on eBay and found one. I think I was able to give like a best offer price, which is a little bit less than that. I think I paid $190 plus shipping and taxes. So it was still less than $250. But with things and how eBay sellers like to ship things, or how the post office is handling packages, it seems, I was worried that it would actually get to me in one piece, because you have to handle these things with kid gloves, so to speak. And it made it. So this is it. Shadow Man #1. You can see the little skulls on the side. And this is pretty cool. So I have 3 of the 5 that they have done. Plan on getting the other ones, just hadn't found the right opportunity for it. And there we go. So pretty cool. Glad to add that to the PC. Also found a foreign comic collector online that was offloading some of his books. Unfortunately, I didn't get to all of them. Unfortunately, there was some other people that had their eyes on it as well and picked up some as well. So I only missed out on one that I was planning on getting, which was a foreign edition of I don't remember if it was a Brazilian one or not, but it was the foreign edition of Hulk 340, and it had the McFarlane cover on there. But I still was able to pick up some killer books, like this one right here. This is the Brazilian edition of Batman. It's one, whatever the first appearance of the Scarecrow is. So pretty cool book right there. And pretty banged up, which sometimes you'll get with these foreign editions. I believe this is a Dutch edition of Tomb of Dracula 10. And so that is pretty cool to add. And I had this little cut up here, which leads me to believe maybe they cut it off to say that, hey, this one was a throwaway, didn't sell, and so therefore we're going to send it back. But I might be wrong with that. Let me know in the chat if you knew for sure. I just know that they used to in America, they would tear the covers off, like that part of it off, and then that's how you knew it had been a send back. So this is a Brazilian edition of Detective Comics 400, which ironically enough, Detective Comics 400 is a book that I just sent off to be graded. Finally got graded. Spoiler alert, I was very disappointed with the grade. However, a lot of that's my fault. So you'll find out more about that if you click the bell notification and the subscribe button. You'll know when I drop that big CBCS unboxing. So I have several books that have been at CBCS for the last few months. They are on their way. Even FedEx runs into snags, and so they are on their way. And so pretty soon that video will be dropping, so stay tuned for that. But I like to try to pigeonhole myself on these foreigns, unless it's just like, you know, something crazy like $5. There was a X-Men book that went up on a YouTube auction the other night. You don't hardly ever see a foreign on a typical YouTube auction. You see all the hot books, the ratio variants, et cetera, but you don't usually see a foreign. It was like $5. I'm like, hey, I'll snag it. But other than that, you don't normally see those up there. And I try to pigeonhole myself to those great covers that I like. And of course, this is way back homage to Detective Comics. Is it the 32, something like that? Of course, Neil Adams is more famously known for homaging that with Detective Comics, was it 222? Or Batman, rather. Batman 222 or 227. And it's been homaged several times since then. I think as late as one of the mini series of Joker. I think Neil Adams did an homage to his homage. I've ordered that one online, and it just hasn't come in. It's one of those comic shops online that had that variant. And on this one, instead of the monk and the lady, it's Robin kicking somebody's butt. So this is one of those Brazilian digest versions, like the Hulk 181 that I have. And so that one was pretty cool to pick up. As I've been told and I've seen, that Brazilian comics are known for having a lot of rusty staples. I don't know if it's the weather down there or what the deal is, but they are known for having rusty staples. And so sometimes you have to watch out for replacing those staples having been replaced, which would be no in the English collecting market. But as far as foreign collectors, a lot of times you're really more interested in getting the book and the piece of history. Just because it's rare doesn't mean it's expensive. There's still got to be a demand for that book, and there might not be, and therefore the prices aren't reflecting how rare it actually is. Now, having said that, like the American collecting market, foreigns have continued to rise as they've gained in popularity, and a rising tide lifts all ships. And so those English editions have been going up, and so the foreigns have as well. And I've also read articles to say that a lot of the people that are in these countries, Israel and Germany, wherever, don't like all their books leaving to go elsewhere, mainly to America, right? And so they're kind of holding on to them and hoarding them, which is creating a cinch in the supply. And if the demand's there, it raises the price. there's your economics 101 lesson. But those are the few foreigns that are picked up, as well as that Shadow Man 1 and 250 glass cover. What do you think about these pickups? I don't really have an awful lot now that I have completed my a lot of my goals for this year. One of my goals was to collect more foreigns, so you see that represented there. But as far as big books, I really don't have that many. Probably the biggest book that just comes to my mind would be 2 through 6 of the Incredible Hulk run, or the other one would be the first appearance of Mr. Freeze. So those are probably the biggest books that I'm really on the hunt for now. There's other books I'm on the hunt for, don't get me wrong. Some the Valiant Validated Signature series of Eternal Warrior 27, or for Geomancer #1, which are the 2 rarest of them. But, you know, those just, I mean, I'll pull the trigger if I find them. It's just finding them. What I'm talking about is just big books that not necessarily pulling that you can pull the trigger for. When you find it, you got to find it and find it at the right price, and then be prepared to pull the trigger because of how much they cost. So with that said, appreciate each and every one of you for watching this video, taking your time. Be sure to check out the other videos on my channel if you aren't familiar with this channel, and check me out over on Instagram, where I usually post daily. So until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.